are you ready for this?
I am.
Do you think I'm going to come off as an evil witch here?
I have a sister that tells me the most horrible things about me. Like, no matter how hard you try to roast me or like think it might upset me, just remember who Haley Dasovich is, so it'll be like a fraction.
Okay. Oh, I love this, because normally I'm not encouraged to really speak my mind when I'm like bothered by something. So yes, this is good.
Real criticism is the only way to like fully develop and have like personal growth. So I'm currently editing part 2 of the full roast, where Madz roasts me for pretty much an hour and a half unedited. And the roast was about a small incident that occurred in Monaco. And you know, after editing this and looking at it, na-realize ko na gusto ko ipakita sa inyong lahat yung discussion na to, to see a different perspective, a different side of reality. Because yan isa sa mga purposes ng vlogging, di ba? Nag-travel kami ni Daniel for probably overall 2 months, and we didn't see Madz until we got back here and talk about, you know, this little incident that happened that one time. And I felt like it was a good opportunity to get some criticism, because criticism is always good, constructive criticism. I was a part of a campaign recently that had to do with toxic positivity, and one of the things with vlogging and why a lot of vloggers fall into the toxic positivity trap is because they only show the good of everything that happens. Now, the vast majority of this trip was all good and it was all fun, but it's also important to humanize us and to show, I believe, that we don't live in this dream world without conflict. I think I'm pretty good at showing drama, but usually drama on this vlog, on my vlog channel, it's humorous drama. It's not real life drama, because a real life drama, it's usually not beneficial or advantageous in any way to record or film, so it's not something that you could really insert into the story. However, that's what the podcast is for. You can have these open-ended conversations about conflict and really analyze it and learn and improve on the situation once you have a better understanding of it. And that's what me, Madz, and Daniel did. So tomorrow we are releasing part 2 of this full podcast. And here are the vlog watchers. I highly encourage you to tune into these conversations so you have a better understanding and a different perspective of the vlog. And I'm gonna show part of this convo that we had about the incident that happened in Monaco, so that you can see this before you see tomorrow's vlog, all the happy stuff on Monaco. Now remember, this is only a small chunk of the full conversation. It doesn't include my rebuttal. It's a very short segment. So before you grab your pitchforks and might get outraged and freak out, just remember there's an hour of dialogue you should listen to before freaking out. But yeah, here we go.
Okay, so this is the second thing I'm gonna roast you on.
Okay.
You live so much in the content world that you disconnect by being compassionate to the people around you and being present. Wait, no, this is not your time. This is not your time. Like, you know, for me, it's like, I get it. There are certain things that are so hard to capture. So when you have an opportunity to capture it, you want to share it with your audience, which I think is amazing. You guys are amazing storytellers, but you have to be as enjoyable off cam as you are on cam. If all your energy and excitement goes for being on cam, then your relationships are gonna suffer in real life, because you are not creating a connection with a human being. You're creating a connection with a camera. And I know it's your job, but it has to be a balance, because you are gonna end up isolating yourself without you knowing it. And a lot of vloggers do this. Like, you are so into your routine of editing and all that, and then at a certain point you'll get burnt out, and you realize it's because you haven't nurtured other aspects of your humanity. And I just felt like you were forgetting about being compassionate towards other people's needs. You were just hyper focused on one thing.
Let me just say, I agree. You're right. However,
Shavina, ka para makita ng tao na tumatawa ka.
She's just laughing the whole time. Shavina's just laughing.
Bakit ka tumatawa? Dahil totoo?
Hindi, ngayon lang ako nakakita may naglurusa ka.
Well, you see my mom roast me all the time. So everything Madz is saying is true. I admit. However, the caveat is I only vlog once a month. If you look at my YouTube channel, it's been more than a month since my last vlog. So I did get carried away, but I don't live my life like this. Like I'm pretty present with what I do when I'm not vlogging. I don't vlog that much.
Okay. But what I'm saying is like that's also like why I wanted to do yoga before we shot it, is because when the cameras go off, I get a very different will.
Okay. Elaborate, please do tell.
And this is because you're asking me to.
Yeah.
I get.
Sorry, I had a cough.
What? Now I feel like self-conscious that I'm being honest, but it's true. I get a very different will. And
Which one do you like better?
I see you as one person. I just see you as choosing to be a certain way on and off cam. Although when you were in LA, that was the real side of you that I really enjoyed. Like when we weren't vlogging in LA, you were super chill.
Remember this too. We only vlogged for a couple days, but there are more days we don't vlog.
Yeah.
Than when we vlog, but it's obscure to the viewer because they see like 8 videos, but they don't realize, maybe they do, but they probably don't think about it, that was 2 days. So
yeah,
that's what's crazy.
Yeah, like in LA,
right?
like people are so affected by our videos together, and then it's like a weekend for us, and then that weekend was just prolonged, and if we were to like rewatch it, so much happened within those days, and it's really entertaining. And then we go to a different episode, like we're doing a TV series, and it's a totally different world.
Can you elaborate though, camera will versus non-camera will? Because I think you have a different perspective of me as well. Because like Nico, for instance, he's just someone that says Will Desevich is always the same when he's behind the camera and he's not on camera, and that's why he's the best at what he do, because he's the same, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I just like to hear what your perspective is of on cam and off cam.
I'm gonna go.
Wait, what?
I'm just gonna go CR really
Go.
quick.
Wait, right now actually, what am I right now? Am I on cam will or am I off cam will?
You're somewhat... No, when you do your podcast, there's a point of sincerity that you can't run away from. So you are off cam. You are present will. It's not a question of off cam or on cam. It's present.
What we're getting at is, yeah, when I'm on cam, I'm not completely present in the moment.
No, when you're on cam, you're connected. You're connected to the people you're speaking to. You're connected to the moment. When you're off cam, you're like...
I just like unplug.
Yeah,
and
it's just like you have no more energy for real life. You have no more energy for real life.
The only time I've ever heard someone say this about me is Erwin told me this in 2016 when we traveled together, because this was daily vlog though, so it was a different time, which is I think true for all daily vloggers, is like, yeah, you put all your energy into one thing and then once you stop recording you just turn off.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard that about me since Erwin told me that during the daily vlog era.
Well, because maybe you compartmentalize these things, and there's people that you hang out with and during the vlogging times, and like when you're not vlogging, do you guys just hang out and have a meal and share your life together?
We do.
Yeah.
We've done that more actually than vlog.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Because I haven't uploaded in over a year, so. Going back to what you said about taking time off content, I mean, Will was a totally different person in 2016 to who he is now.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that. And I guess there's a level of maturity, we grow, there's different aspects of our character which are negative and positive. So yeah.
Even if you're sitting beside me, I know you're on his side, so it's...
I'm not on anyone's side. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm just an observer, and I think that's always been my case in life.
Do you have any observations that maybe some of my points I have?
Of course,
I'm going
of
towards?
course.
So can you kind of like
I mean,
Elaborate on that.
in terms of what are you? In terms of what?
Like being with Will 24/7, creating content and not creating content. And specifically during the trip, was there a moment where you felt like you were disconnected and felt burnt out?
Well, for me, it's not necessarily on the trip that I felt disconnected or burnt out, because that's normally the case when you're creating content. And it's not just with Will; it's with every creator I've ever worked with. It's always the same situation, because we're a one-man kind of production team, so there's generally stress there, and everyone has their own variation of doing it their own way. Will's very driven. That's always been an aspect of his personality, and that's why I knew him. He works hard, more so than most people. And that's also a character flaw, but that flaw makes him productive. So there's certain elements to the different characters that
I
you see.
totally love productivity, and I totally admire and appreciate him being so hardworking. Like, that's something I aspire to be as well. And I do think that it's great that he accumulates these moments and gets to, like, his brain works and creating this content and telling these stories. But I guess
So this is what I'm understanding, is that Daniel has worked with me and knows me for so long that what you're saying about how when I'm plugged in, when I'm on cam and I'm connected to the matrix of the vlog and everything, Daniel doesn't look for connection, or he's not gonna try and find this other Will, because he knows I'm plugged in.
Everyone has their own way of doing things, but generally speaking, most creators are pretty intense because that's just the way it is when they're shooting. In Monaco, for you, yes, I could understand how you can see that. And also for me, like, there's elements where we will have friction together, right? And that's quite normal.
Can you elaborate on that friction? Can you tell me? I know that he's such a good guy that he doesn't really hold on to these things when there's friction. Wait, so what did you mean by when you said when Will asked you, "Are you okay, man?" and you said, "No, actually, I'm not okay"?
Yeah, because that was an element of friction. That's quite common with friends and with people. Now, going to what you were saying about...
No.
There is elements of friction there when you're working with somebody, especially like when you're out traveling with somebody. It's like when I'm with the Fighter Boys. I was with the Fighter Boys. It's 6 guys that are stuck together in a room, a lot of testosterone flowing. You're gonna have fights, you're gonna have issues. But I think the biggest problem in life is when people hold grudges or they try to explain or understand these things to the extent where they have to bring it up and challenge. Ultimately, it's like, if you understand, eventually you can work it out. The way I see it is, I know Will, and as you said before, he's open to understanding and open to trying to be better. And I think that factor is
That's not the juicy part.
important.
Tell us the juicy part, the part where...
The juicy part? I thought, yeah.
I'm trying to break it down. Like, one reason why you're kind of upset is because...
I'm actually, to begin with, there was just this moment that left a bad taste in our mouths.
Okay, then no, that's what it is. There was just a moment of tension.
Yes.
that this is what we're trying to, and we haven't even got to the tension yet. And before we get into more tension, it's apparent that I tend to have a lack of care for those around me when I get lost in vlogging and my work. And I can use a reminder about the importance of unconditional care, which is perfect because there's a viral video going around right now about unconditional care with John Lloyd Cruz. Alam mo, kilala ko si John Lloyd Cruz. I met him at a party at Maha Salvador's house. We had a very interesting conversation. A very interesting guy. He seems like a sweetheart though. And this viral videos going around, alagang walang pinapili, ang tawag dyan. Let's watch it together and lighten the mood and go back to, something we need a reminder of after all that roasting and boasting.
Tension.
Yes, the tension, to balance this out, diba?
Ingat. Nakakatawa kung gaano kadalas ko pa rin itong marinig sa inyo.
Na-realize ko yan yung palagi mong ginagawa. Ingat.
Akala mo po, Joe?
You got that from John Lloyd Cruz, huh?
Opo.
Alam niyo, tuwing may sakit ako, she always does that. When she walks away, she goes, Ingat. Just now ko lang na-realize na you got that from him.
Naging meaningful sa akin tong ingat. Kasi it always reminds me bakit naging malaking parte ng buhay ko ang biogesic.
Alam mo, ito yung gamot din yung palagi nakabitbit si nanay. From my whole pagkabata, this is also what my mom always carries. Alam mo yun? My mom has a bag of 100 pills of everything you need. If you have headache, if you have cough, if you have sore foot. Ganun talaga yung mga Pinay moms, no? They can solve everything. And biogesic is in her magical kit of stuff that always makes you feel better. Diba? Relate ko dyan.
Pili. Lalo na nung nag-pandemic, I realized na kahit sino pwedeng magkasakit. Lagnat at sakit ng ulo, wala itong pinipiling oras o lugar. Walang pinapalampas kahit yung akala mong malakas.
Parang si tropa ko, kay Dilindia.
Tropa mo or twin sister mo? They look like twins, diba? They're actually cousins, or it's her second cousin with the tuhod or something. What do you call it? Second, once removed the... basta.
Kahit gaano pa katindi ang iyong pinagdadaanan.
Cute. Oh!
Alagang hindi
Tumada-move siya eh. Oh! Never ako maghahanap ng iba kasi ikaw talaga yung ganitong klaseng alaga. Wait, ikaw yung alaga or ako yung alaga?
Ikaw
Hindi na
po
tayo
yung alaga.
maghahanap.
Ako yung alaga, ikaw yung
Nag-aalaga.
taga-alaga.
Okay.
Taga-alaga, nag-aalaga. Or taga-alaga. Kasi di ba pinaglalaga mo ko ng mga itlog din?
Itlog, kamote.
I eat itlog every day. One of the best ways you can show your care for someone is by always being ready and providing them with something to make them feel better. Diba? Something that you're really good at with me. Pag nasa shoots ako or when I'm traveling around and I have this crazy schedule, isa sa mga pinakamagandang katangian ng personalidad mo or yung mga ginagawa mo para sa akin, she packs my stuff. I know I'm like a kid, I'm like a child. It's not that I don't know how to pack my stuff. I'm doing other stuff and, you know, I don't have the time. Basta, she packs my stuff. Palagi mong nilalagay yung mga vitamina ko, yung mga food, water, yung mga biogesic, and kung ano-ano kailangan ko, even my emergency pack, which my mom taught her to do that. Pero alam mo, when I was at the shoot with
Ba't kasi kailangan
Alam mo, nakita niya yung mga stuff ko, like the biogesic, the food and everything, and sabi na, did Shavina pack that for you? Kasi alam niya na I wouldn't like pack and do all this stuff. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh my gosh, that's the sweetest thing. Aww. Aside from making me feel better physically, like the headache going away, emotionally, it makes me feel good. And yan ang talaga yung gets ko sa alagang walang pinipili. Well, it's good to see John Lloyd Cruz back. I'd love to have him on my podcast. I wonder what we could talk about, kaya. Maybe he can roast me as well, just like Matt. No, I don't know. Comment nyo below if you'd like to see John Lloyd Cruz on the podcast. But overall, great message. Something I needed to hear after my brief moment of walang care. Kasi, you know, when I'm vlogging, I get carried away and I forget to care for the people around me. It is the perfect reminder that I needed. Diba?
Truth.
Is that all you have to say? Truth? You don't have anything else to say? So kayo naman, after watching the video, do you guys remember any of your alagang walang pinipili experiences? If so, please share your story with us in the comments below. Ingat! Did I do it right?
Ingat!
There you go. Giveaway! It's Christmas time. Ibig sabihin, madami akong mail. Ibig sabihin, madami akong giveaways because my mom gives away all my stuff kasi wala, alam mo na. Free merch, buy that merch. If you buy merch, you get more free merch. That's our Christmas special. Also, if you want any of this like random stuff, all these gifts, then follow me on Instagram and like this reel here. And leave a comment with Mudra is live. The full podcast, if you want to see that whole thing, part 1, part 2, linked below.
Commerce alert. Bawal.
Oh yeah, when you see the scam comment in the YouTube section, it's not me. People keep asking me if it's me. I would never ask my fans for money. So if someone posing as Will Dasovich is asking you for money, it's obviously not me. My YouTube channels and all my social media have check marks. I'm verified. So if someone's just using my profile picture and it doesn't have a check mark, then it's obviously fake. So there's a warning.
Paki-report na.
Love you all. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa.
Dami naming regalo.
Peace.